April 20th, 1999. On that day, two heavily armed students, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, walked into their Colorado high school and killed 13 people before turning their guns on themselves. That traumatic event is now forever seared into the nation's psyche, as is the name of the school by which the massacre will always be known, Columbine. It was at the time the deadliest school shooting in American history, but tragically, since that shooting, there has been a proliferation of mass slaughter at schools and other venues, some of them committed by young men inspired by the Columbine killers. So what have we learned in the 19 years since Columbine? Why do mass shootings keep occurring in this country? What happens to communities that have been victims of these events when the TV cameras go away? And could things really change after Parkland? Joining us now to talk about all this is Dave Cullen, author of the book Columbine, widely considered the definitive history of the Columbine shooting. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Dave, what are the chief lessons that we should have learned from Columbine, and have we, by and large, learned them?
Well, there are a handful of lessons, and we've gotten either basically an A or an F on the different ones. The ones where we've succeeded brilliantly, the cops have completely changed their tactics. We now have the active shooter protocol, so where they go in immediately. Schools have created lockdown drills and trained teachers and students and done all sorts of things, added all sorts of security measures. I'd give an A on that. In terms of getting both teachers and especially students to be aware of these and to see something, say something idea, and kids reporting them to sort of foil these before they happen, also we're doing fantastic. More of these, many more are foiled now than actually go through. But then a couple of other areas where we've just failed miserably. And most of these turn out to be, the vast majority turn out to be suicidally depressed kids, where they really start fundamentally as a suicide, which becomes an aggressive homicide as well. And we've done, so it's, the issue there is teen depression, and even screening for teen depression, we had done zero. So that's appalling. So we get an F there. And maybe worst of all is, of course, the guns issue, where these only happen at these massive numbers because of guns. And we've not only gotten an F, we've actually retreated, because at the time of Columbine, there was still the assault weapons ban, which has now expired. So we've made zero progress, and we've actually gone backwards.
So let's turn to the media. As you know, some critics argue that the media is in some way complicit with these killings, because at least part of the motivation of these killers is to get wide attention, and they know they will after the event, from 24/7 coverage in the media. Would you go that far? Would you call the media complicit?
I think the media totally is complicit, because when you study these killers, they're lashing out. It's not so much about seeking fame or notoriety. It's more a desire to be heard and to feel powerful. These people, nearly all of them, feel helpless and hopeless. They feel ostracized, excluded, and kind of pathetic. And so they're at their end of their rope, and they're just literally dying for attention and to feel powerful and to feel heard. And so we in the media give them that microphone. We give them that power, that 4 to 5 days of glory, where they're the biggest star in the world. So we are handing that to them. Now, it's fascinating to me that Parkland really flipped that script. This time we do know the names of, everyone knows Cameron Kasky, Emma Gomez, David Hogue, because they make themselves more interesting than the killer. The killer's name, lots of people, I don't even want to say it, but most people don't even know what it is anymore. They have finally figured that out. And so perhaps they have created a template where other survivors follow in their footsteps and do the same thing. So now maybe the victims will be more interesting than the killers, and we've sort of diminished the killers. Instead of the media doing it, maybe the survivors, the victims, have figured out how to do that. With the Parkland kids, they have seemed so much less traumatized to me. I've spent a fair amount of time with them. And I think it's kind of understandable. The Columbine victims, it was such a, left hook, right hook, out of nowhere, and they were taken by such surprise. It was tantamount as if aliens had attacked. And then not only it was the shock and the horror of friends dead, it was kind of shattering their worldview of what was safe and what dangers were out there and things they had never considered, and they were totally shaken up. So that was just this unthinkable thing had happened and shattered their worldview. with Parkland, they didn't go through it that way. It was more like if a horrible fire had come through the school. And I say that because they do fire drills, they do lockdown drills. These are known threats. They accept that that's part of their world. A lockdown drill, they know this is going to happen to someone. And that would happen to us. Oh, we're the unlucky ones. Same if a fire had swept through, it would be awful. Friends had dead. But like, okay, fires happen. That didn't sort of shatter our worldview that, there was a fire. Now to follow that analogy a little further, if there were ongoing rashes of fires and it was because building codes were being ignored, all sorts of slipshod things, and we could do something about it, and we weren't, and we were letting kids die by all these fires, they would be irate. But that's sort of the situation here, that this is this known threat, this lockdown, they plan for this, but all we do is like plan for after somebody's already shooting somebody, and we haven't done anything to solve the problem. So these kids, they grew up with this known threat, but really pissed off. Like, why is this known threat, and you adults are doing nothing? You're letting us die. You are choosing to let your kids die. And it may be your kids next, who knows, but some of us are gonna die.
All right, Dave, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's an important topic. Appreciate it.